Where in your life do you feel that you are embracing that vulnerability, Joe?
Well, I think in every time you try something new, I enjoy. I'm like in the archery thing. Like I've only been doing it for 4 years, but one of the things that I really loved about it is how fucking terrible I was when I first started. And I was like, there's something to this that I have to figure out. Yoga's a big one. I've been really serious into yoga, like where I go several times a week, at least once a week for about a year and a couple months, a year and like 2 months or something like that. And one of the things that I really enjoy about it is that I'm not very good. And I still get nervous before classes.
Do you?
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, it's weird. There's something, it's one of those weird places. Like a yoga class is one of those weird places where there's almost a sacredness to it. Like you go in there and no one can leave until the class is over. Like they tell you, they lock the front door. No one comes in to visit the studio. Everything's locked in. No one watches. You go in there and we don't talk. No one talks. You don't talk for 90 minutes and you go through this series of poses that are incredibly difficult. You're sweating like pounds and pounds of water off. I mean, I'll weigh myself before and after and I'll be down like 4 or 5 pounds just from one class. And it's very difficult, but it makes me nervous. You know, I do get nervous before I do it because it has this, I think it's difficult to do. I think I don't necessarily physically enjoy it while it's happening, but I enjoy the effects after it's over. But I think it definitely imparts a feeling of vulnerability.
Because I always assume that if you were really good at, this is perhaps, you know, because of where I come from, I always assume that if you are dead good at some sort of fighting thing, that is a highly transferable skill. Like that, and I don't mean in a practical way. If you're good at kickboxing, you will also be good at yoga. I just mean that if you're good at kickboxing, you don't give a shit that you're not good at yoga. That would be like that's always been my assumption. Whereas if you're good at yoga, and you know, like the yoga, you're not meant to say you're good at yoga, but by Jove, I'm good at it. Like I don't sort of like when I'm in the MMA gym start going like, well, you may be strangling me now, my man, but wait till we get to Downward Dog. You know, I sort of feel like, all right, like, you know, the humility in a jiu-jitsu situation for a beginner is an absolute humility. You recognise, you know, because I'm doing it with people that are good, and like, you know, they have to do it like they're doing it with a little kid, you know, like, and I'm very aware that they're doing that, you know.
Well, I think that if you get really good at martial arts, the only way to get really good is to be completely objective about where you are. And if you're completely objective about where you are and learning and trying to improve upon your skills, you apply that same feeling towards everything else. So the feeling that you get when you're totally vulnerable in martial arts, you apply that same feeling when you're learning yoga, because that's the only way to get really good at it. The only way to really do it, to 100% do it, is not to sit here and go, this doesn't mean shit, because I could choke out everybody in this fucking room.
That's not going to help you.
Yeah, it's not going to help you at all. As a matter of fact, it'll hurt you. It'll hurt you, and it'll focus more on your own ego instead of the ego dissolving beneficial properties of the poses.